Good afternoon. Welcome to Maryland State Poetry Out Loud competition. My name is Precious Blake, and I'm the Arts and Education Program Director at the Maryland State Arts Council, and I'll be serving as the MC for today. I'd really like to give Baltimore Center Stage a huge round of applause and thank you for hosting us today. So if you don't know already, Poetry Out Loud is a national recitation contest co-created and co-directed by the National Endowment for the Arts and the Poetry Foundation. It invites the dynamic aspects of slam poetry, spoken word, and theater into the English class and helps students master public speaking skills, build self-confidence, and learn about their literary heritage. This is the 15th year of the program, and we are really excited to celebrate its anniversary this year. The Maryland State Arts Council is proud to administer this program as well. MSAC advances the arts in our state by providing leadership that champions creative expression, diverse programming, equitable access, lifelong learning, and the arts as a celebrated contributor to the quality of life for all people in Maryland. We are here to name Maryland's 2020 state champion, who will go on to represent Maryland at the national competition in Washington, D.C. on April 27th through 29th, so it's coming up very soon. Each student here today will also receive a monetary prize for their participation, in addition to the awards already earned at their regional competitions. The top 3 finalists will also receive a trophy, as you can see right behind me. In addition, the state champion and second place winner's school will receive a stipend for the purchase of poetry books. To reach this point today, students moved from classroom and school competitions and then one of 3 regional competitions. 3 students were named at each regional, and so we have 9 students from across the state of Maryland competing today. Let's give them a hand. This is poetry, so we can snap. Today, we will also celebrate the 2020 Maryland Poetry Ourselves winner. Poetry Ourselves is an additional optional competition that allows students to submit an original piece of poetry. Poems were judged on artistic excellence and merit in an anonymous jury process. I'd also like to take a moment to acknowledge any teachers in the room. They are our partners in poetry, and we are so grateful for their support and the work that they do to engage and prepare their students. If there are any teachers of any kind in the room who have participated or not, could you please stand and say hello? Thank you. We really appreciate our educators because they're really the folks that prepare and inspire our students to be the best that they can be. Also, thanks to everyone who graciously has acted as a judge in the past and have acted as a judge today. We appreciate your time and expertise. And parents, thank you all parents that are here. So I'd like to briefly introduce our judges with their full bios in the program. First, we have Abdul Ali, who is a poet, literary activist, and educator. Gail Danley, who is a poetry champion who has taught students across the state of Maryland for over 25 years. Unique Robinson, who is a writer, MC, performer, professor, educator, host, and proud Baltimore native. And last but not least, Jeff Smallwood, a poet and regular contributor to the Poet Circle Workshop in Prince Frederick. There is also a slight change in our judges today. The Maryland State Poet Laureate, Grace Cavalieri, intended to join us today, but she is under the weather. We send her wellness and a healthy recovery. She wishes that she was here with us today, and she's a really wonderful person. So during the recitations, the judges will be referring to the criteria, which is also in your program: physical presence, voice and articulation, dramatic appropriateness, evidence of understanding, and overall performance. Got it? I would also like to say that today would not be possible without our fabulous staff. Thank you to MSAC and also our staff volunteers, the Baltimore Center Stage volunteers, who are our door greeters and our escorts. If any staff are in the room, please wave and just say hello. Any MSAC staff? Volunteers? Thank you. You really helped us with some traffic jams today. So I'd like to call out two specific staff people who will be supporting me during this program. The accuracy judge and prompter for today is Kayla Morgan, who is also our Poetry Out Loud coordinator. If any of the competitors need help with a line, they can direct their attention to Kayla, give her a nod, and she will help them out. Lillian Jacobson, who is our regional events planner, will also serve as tabulator. So now I'd like to introduce Ken Skiskesh, who is our executive director of the Maryland State Arts Council.
Good afternoon. Welcome everyone to the 15th annual Maryland State Poetry Out Loud Finals. Again, I'd like to reiterate a thanks to Baltimore Center Stage staff and Baltimore Center Stage as an organization for hosting us. The Maryland State Arts Council plays an essential role ensuring every person has access to the transformative power of the arts. The mission of the organization is to advance the arts in our state by providing leadership that champions creative expression, diverse programming, equitable access, lifelong learning, and the arts as a celebrated contributor to the quality of life for all of the people of Maryland. We're very fortunate to have the support of the governor and First Lady, who are both great advocates of the arts and arts education. Today, we're here to celebrate 9 very talented students from around our state, as well as recitation as an art form and its revival of the oldest method of teaching poetry. In the 15 years of the Poetry Out Loud program, more than 3 million students across the country have competed in the program, memorizing at least one poem. Finally, students, I just wanted to say how much I enjoyed working with each of you from a coaching perspective. It was a great honor for me, so thank you for that, and I look forward to our work showing up here today. Now I'd like to welcome Don Walter, Director of Strategic Communications and Public Affairs from the National Endowment for the Arts, to say a few words. Don?
Teachers, participants, parents, siblings. You've spent how long studying? Weeks, months? Have you practiced in front of a mirror? Did you practice in front of your parents and siblings before? Are you nervous? You've already won. You've already won. For 15 years, the National Endowment for the Arts has been tracking about 4 million students all over the country. American Samoa and Guam come on next year, so there'll be 54 jurisdictions next year. We've been tracking them, and we found that participants have higher grades, are less likely to drop out, and are more likely to contribute to their community, volunteer activity. So you're smarter and you're better citizens by being a part of this art program and other art programs. Poetry Out Loud is connecting participants with a particular poem. You've been through 1,000 poems in the poetryoutloud.org website to find a poem that you can relate to. 300,000 other students, just like you, this year did the same thing. 300,000 students. Right now, the Phoenix State Championship is happening. Right now, the Wisconsin State Championship is happening. The winner here goes to the Lisner Auditorium at George Washington University campus on the 28th of April, and the 9 semifinalists go on to the National Championship at the beautiful Terrace Theater at the Kennedy Center, which is a fantastic place. We have found that over these 15 years, your participation tracked the alumni of the Poetry Out Loud program are fantastic people. They're contributors to society. So whether you win or not today, you've already won. So congratulations. I hope to see one of you at the Lisbon Auditorium on the 28th. The National Endowment for the Arts has been around since 1965. This is the 15th year of our program. We are delighted to be in as many states as possible. We actually travel to each state in the United States every year. We try to bring the arts to local communities as much as possible. So Ken, Precious, Maryland State Arts Agency, thank you very much for having me. I look forward to seeing you.
Thank you, Don. So before we get started, I'd just like to go over some etiquette guides so we can be as present as possible for our students today. We will have 2 full recitation rounds with breaks for tabulation. The breaks will also serve as intermission. And then the top 3 scoring students from the previous 2 rounds will recite their 3rd poem to determine the order of the winners. The top winner, as mentioned, will go to the national competition. When recitations are taking place, please stay in your seats, silence your cell phones, and no flash photography. And if you can also reserve conversation and restroom use during the tabulation breaks, that would be wonderful. So are you ready to get started? I can get better than that. Are we ready to get started? Great. Wonderful. So I'd like to introduce the first student, Joy Campbell from Oakdale High School.
The Coming Woman by Weston Fordham. Just look, 'tis 6:15, love, and not even the fires are caught. Well, you know I must be at the office, but as usual, the breakfast'll be late. Now hurry and wake up the children, and dress them as fast as you can. Poor dearies, I know they'll be tardy. Dear me, what a slow-pokey man. Have the tenderloin broiled nice and juicy. Have the toast browned and buttered all right. And be sure you settle the coffee. Be sure that the silver is bright. When ready, just run up and call me. At 8 to the office I go, lest poverty grim should overtake us. 'Tis bread and butter, you know. The bottom from stocks may fall out. My bonds may get below par. Then surely I seldom could spare you a nickel to buy a cigar. All ready? Now while I'm eating, just bring up my wheel to the door. Then wash up the dishes and mind now, have dinner promptly at 4. For tonight is our women's convention, and I am to speak first, you know. The men veto us in private, but in public they shout, "That's so." So by and by, in case of a rap, love, before opening the door, you must look. Oh, how could a civilized woman exist without a man cook?
Allison Comising from Reservoir High School.
Diameter by Michelle Wyberg.
You love your friend, so you fly across the country to see her. Your friend is grieving. When you look at her, you see that something's missing. You look again. She seems all there. Reading glasses, sarcasm, leather pumps. What did you expect? Ruins? To meet her without arms in the British Museum? Your friend says she believes there's more pain than beauty in the world. When Persephone was taken, Demeter damned the world for half the year. The other half remained warm and bountiful. The Greeks loved symmetry. On the plane, the man next to you read a geometry book, the lesson on finding the circumference of a circle. On circumference, you can calculate the way around if you know the way across. You try across with your friend. You try around. I don't believe in an afterlife, she says. But after Kay died, I thought I might go after her. In case I'm wrong, in case she's somewhere, waiting.
Caroline Daley from St. Mary's Ryken High School.
O Antic God by Lucille Clifton. O antic God, return to me my mother in her 30s, leaned across the front porch, the huge pillow of her breasts pressing against the rail, summoning me in for bed. I'm almost the dead woman's age times 2. I can barely recall her song, the scent of her hands, though her wild hair scratches my dreams at night. Return to me, O Lord of then and now, my mother's calling, her young voice humming my name.
Ellie Heath from Severa Park High School.
Diameter by Michelle Y. Burke. You love your friend, so you fly across the country to see her. Your friend is grieving. When you look at her, you see that something's missing. You look again. She seems all there, reading glasses, sarcasm, leather pumps. What did you expect? Ruins? Demeter without arms in the British Museum? Your friend says she believes there's more pain than beauty in the world. When Persephone was taken, Demeter damned the world for half the year. The other half remained warm and bountiful. The Greeks loved symmetry. On the plain, the man next to you read a geometry book, the lesson on finding the circumference of a circle. On circumference, you can calculate the way around if you know the way across. You try across with your friend, you try around. I don't believe in an afterlife, she says. But after Kay died, I thought I might go after her. In case I'm wrong, in case she's somewhere waiting.
Kate Martin from Gersdale Academy.
Early Affection by George Moses Horton. I loved thee from the earliest dawn, when first I saw thy beauty's ray, and will until life's eve comes on and beauty's blossom fades away. And when all things go well with thee, with smiles and tears, remember me. I'll love thee when thy morn is past and wheedling gallantry is o'er, when youth is lost in age's blast and beauty can ascend no more. And when life's journey ends with thee, oh, then look back and think of me. I'll love thee with a smile or frown, mid sorrow's gloom or pleasure's light. And when the chain of life runs down, pursue thy last eternal flight. When thou hast spread thy wing to flee, still a moment, wait for me. I'll love thee for those sparkling eyes, to which my fondness was betrayed, bearing the tincture of the skies to glow when other beauties fade. And when they sink too low to see, reflect an azure beam on me.
Mavlis Condale from Richard Montgomery High School.
Lucinda Matlock by Edgar Lee Masters. I went to the dances at Chandlerville and played Snap Out at Winchester. One time, we changed partners, driving home in the moonlight of middle June, and then I found Davis. We were married and lived together for 70 years, enjoying, working, raising the 12 children, 8 of whom we lost ere I had reached the age of 60. I spun, I wove, I kept the house, I nursed the sick, I made the garden, and for holiday, rambled over the fields where sang the larks, and by Spoon River, gathering many a shell, and many a flower, and medicinal weed, shouting to the wooded hills, singing to the green valleys. At 96, I had lived enough, that is all, and passed to a sweet repose. What is this I hear of sorrow and weariness, anger, discontent, and drooping hopes? Degenerate sons and daughters, life is too strong for you. It takes life to love life.
Randolph Smith from Concordia Preparatory School.
The Negro Speaks of Rivers by Langston Hughes. I've known rivers. I've known rivers ancient as the world and older than the flow of human blood in human veins. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. I bathed in Euphrates when dawns were young. I built my hut near the Congo and it lulled me to sleep. I looked upon the Nile and raised pyramids above it. I heard the singing of the Mississippi when Abe Lincoln went down to New Orleans, and I've seen its muddy bosom turn all golden in the sunset. I've known rivers, ancient, dusky rivers. My soul has grown deep like the rivers. Thank you.
Katie Spencer from Indian Creek School.
Diameter by Michelle Wyberg. You love your friend, so you fly across the country to see her. Your friend is grieving. When you look at her, you see that something's missing. You look again, she seems all there, reading glasses, sarcasm, leather pumps. What did you expect? Ruins? Demeter without arms in the British Museum? Your friend says she believes there's more pain than beauty in the world. When Persephone was taken, Demeter damned the world for half the year. The other half remained warm and bountiful. The Greeks loved symmetry. On the plane, the man next to you read a geometry book, the lesson on finding the circumference of a circle. On circumference, you can calculate the way around if you know the way across. You try across with your friend, you try around. I don't believe in an afterlife, she says. But after Kay died, I thought I might go after her, in case I'm wrong, in case she's somewhere waiting.
Sanjana Subramanian from Urbana High School.
Dawn by Ella Higginson. The soft-toned clock upon the stair chimes 3. Too sweet for sleep, too early yet to rise. In restful peace I lay with half-closed eyes and watch the tender hours go dreamily. The tide came in. I heard the sea shivering along the sands, while yet the